I'm Ben.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VillageXchange. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch and do the Charles Ellie them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
Jethro Tull.
Jethro Tull. We are in the year 1970, dear listener. We're all in a, what do you call that? See, I got my
DeLorean.
I got my Jimi Hendrix shirt in this bitch.
Yeah.
I introduced Orion to Jimi Hendrix today.
I heard you.
He said, "Who is that on your shirt?" I said, "Jimi Hendrix." He says, "What does he do?" I said, "He plays guitar." I said, "He's better than me." And he said,
"Aww."
I'm like, "That's right, kid. That's right. I mean, Jimmy is kind of overrated. He had that one song in Block Hawk Down, but other than that."
All right, you guys. Jethro Tull. Yeah, 18.
Shout out to Albert Wesker, the man. Oh, by the way, you should take those timestamps and put them in the thing on Rumble and then on Twitter as well. So that way Ben can give us some grace. All right, are you ready?
No. Jethro Tull, him 43.
Okay, is there a thing I'm looking at? Oh, that's the last picture?
I'll be honest. No, you know what?
I don't see another picture. Don't worry about it. Just read it. That's all right.
The song is featured on Jethro Tull's 4th studio album, WATCHALONGS, in which you guys have reached several songs from. You have reacted to several songs from, including the title track. Hymn 43, like the song My God, is an attack on the misuse of religion, specifically Christianity, and using it to justify horrific acts. Guitarist Martin Bear's heavy and hard riff is still my favorite of his. Also, fun fact, prior to him joining the band, they had another guitarist for a few weeks named Tony Iommi.
Hey! From Sabbath! Really?
He left the band because he missed playing in the band that would become Black Sabbath.
Uh-huh. A sellout, I see!
Alright, so shout out to DJ Nick, A
sellout, I see! A regular AOC, I see! Oh, that was pretty good. That's a pretty good rhyme scheme there. Okay, guys, here we go. This is Jethro Tull, and the name of the song is what now?
Hymn 43. Like a hymn.
Hymn 43. Hymn 43. Not H-I-M. H-Y-M-N. Mm-hmm. What a weird language English is, huh?
That's why they said it's the hardest to learn.
Don't make no damn sense.
There's so much of that weirdness going on.
All right, Jethro Tull, Hymn 43. Let's go, boys.
Father high in heaven, smile down upon your son. Yeah, was busy with his money gains, his women and his guns. Lord Jesus, save me.
like this is kind of like a proto metal. Like all the songs have had that one hard, that one hard riff in the 70s that they were just riding on that thing. That was, bring that back, damn it! Sorry guys, gotta go back to it.
If Jesus saves, well, it better save himself. From the gory, glory seeker, we use his name in death. Oh, Jesus save me. If Jesus saves, well, it better save himself. From the gory, glory
Oh, it sounds so much better louder.
use his name in death. Oh, Jesus save me. Oh, well, I saw him in the city and on the mountains of the moon. Yeah. His cross was rather bloody. Oh, they could hardly roll his stone. And Jesus saved me.
Oh shit! What is going on with this band, bro? Okay, I don't.
Boy, you were hyped on that one, huh?
It's because, like, and then it goes, like that. That's I recognize playing shit like that when I first got my guitar.
Really? Okay.
I didn't know I had the blind riff, and then I was trying to figure out palm muting. And shout out to Ralph. Yeah, like it, but it's just so like, yo, I'm kind of obsessed. Maybe it's like once I started reading Roots, I began to be obsessed with like the origin of things, or like seeing things in like its embryonic form.
Okay.
So like when we got to New York, it was just Biggie. And then I started really getting into New York because I hadn't been into music because we were in Florida and it was just sports all day.
Okay.
Went to New York, and obviously the environment makes it so you have to go inside. So you're more musically inclined. Start listening to music.
Uh-huh.
And Mace at the time was my favorite rapper.
Plus, you said there was a lot of people playing music on the streets.
Oh, that's New York, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the thing. Is like New York, like you were kind of living in a soundtrack. You really were.
That's
You really were. That's why, like, to this day, and I've only seen it with New Yorkers. A certain song comes on or whatever, I'll see people get emotional. I saw it happen with my brother. You know, like I'm not for obvious reasons, but like it's just it's music is such a You know, I mean, it's how the drug dealers communicate to people. Hey, we're open, or it's how they communicate to their friends. Hey, 12 is over there.
12. Yep.
So, yeah, man.
Hey, Shauna TV.
Hey, Shauna TV in this bitch. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to Shauna TV. Shauna TV. Go into your YouTube thing and hit that. Shout out to Shauna TV. Okay, so our Father in heaven, smile down upon your son who's busy with his money games and his women and his gun. La ilaha illallah.
You know what? That is, I remember, because I came up in evangelical Christianity. We didn't have, like, weapons were not like a big thing at my house, but we didn't have an issue with weapons. Like, that was like, you know, you're coming up in Maine, most people have them.
Get your weapon, get your vest for chest protection. Disrespect, you best be stepping. Hit the deck, the tech is wet, and yes, it's getting. Go ahead.
But I didn't necessarily have an issue with it. It kind of made sense that people would have a weapon at their house in case something happened or whatever. And then, believe it or not, you're the one that actually switched me on that. Like,
Really?
Yeah. That's so funny when I think about it.
It's pretty ironic.
Yeah. I didn't realize it until right now.
It's such bullshit.
Well,
if people
oh my word, that's so funny. But the thing is, like, we were
supposed to be together, babe. That's all. That's all I could say.
Well, you speak out, for pacifism and stuff. So the stuff that you were saying about it was true. And then once you kind of like, there's the Bible talks about it. If you live by the sword, you die by the sword. That we're not supposed to be the ones killing other people.
Well, I've always been saying, you don't know the half of it.
Yep.
I'm trying to be a pacifist. But try me with that MAGA shit.
Dying like that.
You dying like that baby bitch. Alright. Back to the piece. Our Father in heaven, smile down on your son. After I just threatened all these nice people. If you guys want to hear that song in its entirety, it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming. Vin has a gun-free zone sign in his front yard. Nah, I don't have that. I'm pretty sure the people in our quaint little neighborhood probably believe I'm carrying sticks with me. You feel me?
It's so funny too, because if you hadn't have switched me over, then there's certain things that when you say or whatever that I'm like, ugh, I wouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
I'd be like, that's right, babe.
Yeah.
But
just like
hold on.
Your girlfriend in New York. She would get you to bang her like,
She would.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Please. Come to your church and just me like one of my savages, man. You know I ain't sleeping. I can't be extorted. I'm born like Joey. We slide with torture. We tell them up this fuck this thing. I'd be laughing to the bank. I bet you were, Meek. I bet you were laughing to the bank.
Boy.
After Puff was in your piggy bank. Boy, man, I'm on some shit today, boy.
Oh
you guys need to get me off the air.
Okay.
I'm unruly.
He's unruly. All right.
I'm a sore winner.
All right. So, okay. So, our Father in heaven, smile down upon your son who's busy with his money games or his women and his gun. Oh, Jesus, save me. The church really was never originally like that when you're looking at first century Christianity.
100%.
It wasn't like that.
Yeah.
Jesus tipped over those tables and all that. It was kind of a violent scene. Because they were taking advantage of the people that were there. Those people were there to get closer to God, and there was other people capitalizing off of their desire for closeness to God. And when Jesus saw that, he flipped those tables over. That was obviously a big problem. But we were never supposed to carry the sword. The only reason that even in the New Testament that any of the disciples had the sword was only to fulfill prophecy, and that prophecy was that he was gonna die with the sinners, right?
Yeah. They made his grave. They made his grave with the wicked,
which was like an insurrectionist. The insurrectionists were people that would keep, weapons underneath their cloaks, and they would just go and go take out the soldiers as they had the opportunity, which was obviously what, actually not a lot of people know this, but when Jesus was set up beside Barabbas, and they were giving them the opportunity to either take Jesus back or take Barabbas, and they all yelled for Barabbas. Barabbas was actually an insurrectionist.
Yeah.
So he was, yeah, but go ahead, what were you going to say?
Well, no, I mean, as a kid, I just remember that you have Jesus and Barabbas, and, the translation says that he was a thief and a murderer.
Yeah, I don't know why they do
and
that.
I'm like, you chose a thief?
Yeah, it never made sense to me.
You thought you chose a thief over Jesus? What the hell?
I was like, idiots.
But the Greek word is lestes, L-E-S-T-E-S in the Greek. And lestes in the Greek can mean thief, but it can also mean insurrectionist. So, like, for example, they would be Hamas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally, there was a Hamas group during the time of Jesus. They were called the Zealots. And what they were essentially the Jewish militia fighting back against Roman occupation.
Yeah.
That's literally what they were. And they were called Zealots. The Zealots eventually evolved to become the Sicarii, who reached their peak around 67. And then all those people were killed between April of 67 till June of 70 AD. They all got wiped out. Mm-hmm. So when you have that setup, you have people who are oppressed, and men are going to be men. Somebody goes and takes your wife, not your wife, and you, what? And you go off and do something, now you end up on a cross, and your kids and your wife can watch you as you bleed to death. Okay? So it's fascinating because I've done actual moderated debates with Christians about the morality or lack thereof of killing in any circumstance. And one of the things people have to understand about me is that there is a difference between what I know to be right and true versus what I'm going to do in a given moment, considering my deficiencies. I would be completely fine if God dropped me on a desert island with a bunch of peak level women and they were all naked. I would be completely fine. But if God dropped me off in the Bronx by myself, I don't think I would do. I don't think I'd do well in 6 months.
When he says he'd be completely fine, what he's saying is he would have no issue. He wouldn't lust after these women or have sex with these women. He could just function regularly, whatever.
Yeah, and again, that doesn't make me anything. I mean, this is what I wake up to in the mornings. Okay, like so that's nothing. Okay, but my issue is you could put me in a vault in a bank with hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Again, you're not touching it.
I'm not touching it. But if I'm in New York, and we're going to certain places or whatever, or some houses with my friends, and I don't do a good job in those situations, and that's one of the reasons why, like, after a certain incident happened, I said, okay, I'm never coming back here again for any reason. What part of the Bronx? Let's see, Dyer Avenue, Nelson Avenue, Tremont. Went to 144, went to Truman High School in Co-op City, Co-op stand-up, got beef with Valley Mob, all those people, man. It was horrible, but I loved it. Turned me into a man. Yeah, so like killing and things like that, man, like and getting into altercations and things like that. There's always people to blame. I didn't have a dad, blah, 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 blah. But the fact of the matter is that I had two brothers that grew up in the exact same circumstances as me, and they weren't like that. I was just that way. That's just how I was. And it's something I struggle with for a good portion of my life, and it's I don't think I'm ever going to be able to overcome that inclination until my dying day. Like when David was dying and they put the young girl in this thing, like, hey, you know? Yeah. They'd be like, if I'm like dying, not doing well on the bed, like, yo, get this guy a Sig Sauer.
I totally understand what you're saying, and I understand your doubtful composure over or whatever based off the fact of who you are. I understand you doubting the fact that you're ever going to be able to get past that. But at the same time, I do see God putting you in a lot of different situations where he's testing that in you. And he's like, this, you cannot, that option is not available to you. Mm-hmm. And, in not just one circumstance, I've seen it in multiple circumstances coming close together. And so I think...
Seen what?
That God is putting you in situations where violence is not going to be able to, you cannot choose it. You can. And you would want to, but like, not that you like literally can't, but I'm not going into detail. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see him putting you in certain situations, and I'm watching it unfold because I just see that God is doing something in it. But so I disagree with that. I don't believe that about you. And as a matter, I completely reject what you just said about yourself, because I do think that that's something that you can overcome before your last and final day. Whether you do or you don't, like, Christ is still going to accept you, but I believe that he's putting you in certain situations so you can overcome before your last day. But yeah.
If Jesus saved, well, he better save himself from the glory seekers who's used his name in death. Oh, Jesus save me. Yeah, man. That's going to be such a hard conversation, man. I told you guys, turn the other cheek. I told you to love your enemies. And you told these people to join the military at 18 and go overseas and kill people. And there's no question. You ever notice it? There's no question about your Christianity if you support United States empire expansion projects, also known as these forever wars.
Yeah.
There is no question. Dude gets hit up with an IED, rest in peace. Oh, we're going to see him in heaven. There's no question about the fate of a person who took part in a criminal enterprise to violate the sacred space and the sovereignty of other nations and kill people and reorient their geography. There's no Ted Cruz. This moment was when I got this moment that I'm about to tell you is the moment that I said, I'm out. I'm out of the Republican Party. I'm out with the evangelicals. I'm out. And it was Ted Cruz. And he said something, 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 something. And then he said, I'm going to go to Afghanistan and we're going to make sand glow. Which, if you nuke somebody, the heat turns the sand into glass, essentially. That's why, you'd be out there and dudes say, yo, we just need to glass this place, bro. We don't need to be here. We just need to glass it. Like, that's the mindset. But Ted Cruz has never been in any jihad. But he's out here talking about carpet bombing the Middle East. He didn't even say Afghanistan. He said the Middle East. Jeez. The region. And at the time, because Ted Cruz was a finalist along with Trump, at the time, all the evangelicals were on Cruz's side. They're like, Cruz is a real Christian. Of course, they then sold their soul after Cruz bowed out, and then they all went to support Trump and all the other stuff. But like, when Ted Cruz said, I'm going to go to the Middle East and make sand glow, I said, I am out. Because the very next thing that happened, instead of people saying, yo, bro, we don't know if you're a Christian. Yay!
Yep.
Simultaneous to that, Donald Trump was running around all these women, and they're like, oh, you if you're a Christian, you can't vote for Donald Trump, blah, blah, blah. You guys don't know this, but in evangelicalism, when Ted Cruz had a chance, the evangelicals were against Trump.
That's right.
So I'm like, okay, so Trump is horrible because he cavorts with all these women. How many bodies does he have? This dude is talking about killing image bearers of God who can do us no harm. He's talking about wiping these people out such that the land has no semblance that they were even there. We're just going to turn it into a sea of glass. Yeah. And nobody questioned his Christianity. Yeah. And God forbid a trans person comes into your church, a gay person comes into your church, a blah, 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 blah person comes into your church. Now all of a sudden, let me look at what Leviticus has to say, blah, 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 blah. There are 6 passages that talk about homosexuality in the Bible. And one of those passages says that a sexual sin is a sin that you commit against your own body. But making sand glow is not a sin that you commit against your own body. It is a sin that's committed against the body of other people while you are literally thousands of miles away in safety.
That's right.
But the gay person, we don't compromise. We don't compromise with the world. Everybody wants to be popular. We don't come here, shut the fuck up.
It's back on.
Yeah. Destination. So what we were talking about was essentially the political ramifications of evangelicals and their support. Jesus used.
Let me finish what I was saying there.
Yeah.
So what I was saying was that they have unmitigated support against people that are for abortion, and even to the point where they would say sometimes that the girls that participate in it should be criminalized, as in they go to jail or there's death penalty for them participating in abortions. Now, I don't agree with abortions at all under any circumstances. I think that we should let children live.
But they're out here trying to kill these women.
But they're out here trying to kill the women for it. But then at the same time, when he's talking, Ted Cruz is talking about sending, bombs over there.
Bomb the Middle East.
Carpet bomb
which is literally a war crime.
To kill so many people, so many innocent people, and so many children and stuff, and they cheer. It's like, okay, we have to be a balanced people. You can't say that you're against abortion, but then talk about killing moms. And then you can't say that we're against abortion, but we're good with killing those people's kids. I mean, come on, there has to be some balance. And so that's obviously the issue.
That's what really pushed me out of the Republican Party, man, was that whole moment when he said he's going to make sand glow and everybody was sharing. I'm like, first of all, we haven't had a terrorist attack in whatever. I'm like, where is all this animosity coming from? Like, Americans are crazy. You think you can stroll into other people's countries and they're not going to do nothing?
Come on.
They're just going to lay down? Man.
No.
So, yeah, I mean, Jesus has been employed and deployed to justify the military-industrial complex, and man, the people who are at the forefront of that shit are going to be punished most severely. And you know what? I am willing to stand before Jesus with my LGBT friends and say, Jesus, I told them, follow you as best as they could, obey you as best they could. I never compromised, but I couldn't condemn them. And then, you know, in comes all these war criminals, and we're celebrating these war criminals. Now listen, a lot of times it was just following orders, but we learned from the Nuremberg trials, right? I was following orders is not enough to justify you in a human court. What do you think is going to happen with the divine court?
Yep.
Yeah. And evangelicals, man, like, they're so tone deaf, they don't understand. They're like Drake. They don't understand the current situation we're in.
Oh.
And so it's like, this shit is obvious to our unbelieving friends.
Right, yeah.
The funny thing is, your unbelieving friends know what you're supposed to look like as a Christian.
That's true. Yeah.
They know what you're supposed to look like.
Yeah.
Now, why they bring it up, I don't care. I don't care if they're doing it to gotcha. I don't care why they're doing it. All I care about is the fact that they know that if we're representing Jesus, we should not be out here supporting fucking mass murderers.
Yeah.
So look, if you're in the LGBT community, God made Adam and Eve. He said, be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, and subdue it. That is God's best for humanity. But all of us are not stained with sin. We are dyed in sin. D-Y-E-D. It's not a stain. It's dyed. It's part of the material and fabric of who and what we are.
Yeah, that was a devil.
Okay? That's where we are. And I do not struggle with homosexual inclinations, but everybody knows the inclinations that I do struggle with. And so I have full and complete faith that Jesus is going to see me home, and I got full and complete faith that Jesus is going to see a lot of my friends home. I'll hang around with the weird people. I'm okay. I promise y'all, I'm okay on the last day hanging out with all the rainbow people. And I don't want, depart from me.
Yeah.
You workers of iniquity.
Yeah.
That was actually in a psalm. Jesus was actually quoting a psalm. And in that psalm, David says, depart from me, bloody men. Now this is David, a warrior, saying this. So even warriors get sick of the gore. So, if you're a person that lives for the gore, and if you're a person that lives for, I never felt so alive because I was going to die, and the drugs and the chemicals that releases into your body, you're going to have to stand before God and deal with that. But in America, you're not prepared for that discussion. Because in America, we exalt the gun and the sword.
Yep.
That's how we got our independence, after all, in a complete contradiction to what the Bible says, by the way. So, the song is incredible. There's so many things we could talk about. 1970, I'd say it's still a dangerous, not dangerous, but maybe career dangerous to be that explicitly critical of Christianity.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that you have to say that took a lot of cojones to do that.
Yeah, because I would think that would affect his overall, how much he was going to make from making the song.
Say that again?
I would think that would affect how much he was going to make on the song.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's going to be a bunch of people that are like, I'm not listening to that. What?
Yeah.
At that time period. I think, we hit a time period where we were like, wait, the more provocative, the whatever, the more insulting, the better. But I don't necessarily think that was the 70s. I am going to give this song a solid 8.8. What are you giving it?
I'm going to give this one, I like this one, a 9.4.
9.4. You guys, Boston is up next.
Boston, I don't know if you've ever heard of them. Peace of Mind. We'll see you on the next break.